The galaxy voted to exile Earth. Humanity just turned and walked out. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched farther than any human eye could see. Thousands of beings from hundreds of different worlds sat in rows that spiraled like a great shell. Some floated, some walked, and some hovered in strange machines. Every race had its own way of showing respect or power. At the center of the chamber, a long platform held the council's leaders, their voices echoing through the hall. Humans had come to this place many times before. Over the centuries, they had learned how to speak politely, how to bow, and how to make the aliens listen. Today, though, there was a tension in the air that Adam Cole could feel in his chest. He stood next to Laura King, his colleague and friend. Both wore simple suits, colored dark blue to mark their humanity. Unlike other species, humans had no natural wings, scales, or glowing patterns. They had only their minds and their courage. "Are we ready?" Laura whispered. Her voice was calm, but Adam could see the worry behind her green eyes. Adam shook his head slightly. "I have never seen anything like this. They are angry. They want to punish us, not hear us. We have to stay calm. That is all we can do." The council leader, a tall figure with 4 arms and silver skin, rose and banged a crystal gavel. "Humans of Earth, you are here because your species has been accused of crimes against the galaxy. You have broken agreements, spread conflict, and ignored our laws. We have debated long enough. It is time to vote." Adam felt his stomach tighten. He had spent years preparing for moments like this, but he had never expected the council to vote for exile. Exile. The word felt heavy, like a stone pressed against his chest. "Exile," he whispered to Laura. She looked back at him and gave a small nod. "They do not even want to hear us defend ourselves. They have already decided." The vote began. Holographic panels appeared in front of every member of the council. Each race pressed their choice: approve, deny, or abstain. Adam watched as the blue light of approval began to spread. The sound of the voting system echoed through the chamber. Like a quiet thunder, Laura placed her hand on Adam's arm. "No matter what happens, remember, humans are stronger than they think." Adam nodded, trying to believe it. When the vote finished, the council leader spoke again. "By majority, Earth is to be exiled." Effective immediately, humans are no longer allowed in shared space lanes, trade networks, or defense treaties. Any human vessel entering another member's space will be considered hostile. This decision is final. A silence fell over the chamber. Thousands of alien eyes turned toward the small human delegation. Some looked triumphant. Some looked worried. None of them expected what Adam did next. He stood taller. He looked the council leader in the eye. "We understand your decision," he said, his voice steady. "We will leave peacefully. We will not fight. We will not beg. We will take our own path." The chamber erupted in confusion. Several aliens whispered to each other. Some looked shocked. "They accept it?" one said. "They do not protest?" Laura added, "Humans do not always act as you expect. Sometimes we do the quiet thing first. Then we act in ways you cannot imagine." The council leader's silver hands clenched. You do not fear exile? Fear is not the same as respect. We respect your decision, but fear will not guide us.
"We will leave peacefully."
That is all. As the council prepared to dismiss the humans, a few ambassadors tried to speak to them, offering apologies or threats. Adam and Laura listened. but they did not reply. They had said all that needed to be said. After the session ended, the humans walked out. Adam noticed how quiet the chamber became. Even as thousands of aliens watched, none followed them. It was as if the humans were a shadow moving through light. Adam felt a strange pride. They were leaving, but not defeated. Back on their transport ship, Adam looked at the stars outside the window. "This is the first time the galaxy has truly misunderstood us," he said. Laura smiled faintly. "They think Exile will break us, but humans do not break that easily. They only learn, adapt, and grow stronger." The ship's engines hummed as it left the council station. Adam felt a mixture of relief and anticipation. For centuries, humanity had lived under the rules of others. Now, for the first time, they were free to make their own rules. On Earth, the news of the exile spread quickly. People did not panic. They did not riot. Instead, they began to prepare. Ships were repaired. Cities were reinforced. Scientists, engineers, and workers all knew that the future would belong to those who acted, not those who complained. In New York, a young engineer named Daniel Brooks adjusted the controls on a cargo vessel. "I heard the council voted against us," he said to his colleague, a pilot named Ethan Ross.
What now?
Ethan shrugged. "We go home. We take care of ourselves. Let them argue. Let them make mistakes. Humanity will survive. That is all that matters." Across the planet, leaders like Claire Morgan and Julia White organized plans for new space stations, defense systems, and transport networks. They knew the galaxy had underestimated humans. That was exactly what they needed. Meanwhile, alien leaders whispered among themselves. Some wondered why the humans had accepted exile without a fight. Others feared that quiet acceptance hid something dangerous. One ambassador, a reptilian named Chris, said, "They leave with calm. That is what scares me. Calm people can do terrible things quietly." Adam and Laura returned to Earth aboard their transport. As they approached the atmosphere, Adam looked at the familiar blue oceans and green lands. He felt hope, but also responsibility. The exile was not the end. It was a beginning. At a spaceport in Houston, they were greeted by thousands of people, not cheering, not crying, but ready. Ready to act, ready to move forward. Humans had learned to survive on their own. The council's vote could not change that. Adam spoke to the crowd. "We have been judged by others. We have been told to leave. But leaving is not the end. Leaving is our choice. We will build. We will explore. We will protect ourselves. And one day, the galaxy will see what humanity can do." The crowd cheered, quietly but strongly. Humans did not need loud words to show their determination. Their actions would speak louder than any vote. That night, Adam and Laura walked along the coast. The stars above looked different now. The Milky Way stretched across the sky like a silver ribbon. For centuries, humans had looked to the stars for guidance. Now they would chart their own path. "Do you think they understand what we are capable of?" Laura asked. Adam shook his head. "Not yet, and that is fine. They will learn in time." In the weeks that followed, humanity began to move in silence. Ships left old trade lanes. Colonies returned to human space. Engineers shut down stations humans had maintained for other species. Slowly, the galaxy began to notice the absence. Shipping routes faltered. Border systems lost order. Communication networks went quiet. Aliens who had once relied on human efficiency started to panic. But on Earth, humans worked with calm and focus. Scientists like Kevin Price and Nathan Bell experimented with new technology. They built faster ships, stronger shields, and systems that did not need alien permission. Humanity was no longer bound by the rules of the Council. They were free and they were ready. And somewhere in the dark spaces beyond the Council's reach, Adam Cole looked at a holographic map of the galaxy. He smiled faintly. "They think they have exiled us," he said, "but we have only begun to walk our own path." The first part of humanity's new story had begun. The Council had voted, the galaxy had judged, and humans had accepted. Not with fear, not with anger, but with quiet strength. The exile was not a punishment. It was the first step toward a future only humans could create. And in the shadows of distant stars, some alien leaders whispered, fearing the calm determination they did not understand. After the Council's vote of exile, humans did not argue. They did not complain. They simply began the quiet work of leaving the galaxy's shared space. Ships of all sizes moved from Council stations, trade routes, and colonies back toward human-controlled systems. The galaxy had counted on humans for trade, transport, and maintenance. Now, slowly, it was learning what happened when humans walked away. Commander Daniel Brooks stood on the bridge of a large transport vessel. Around him, crews of humans worked efficiently. The ship hummed with energy as engines prepared for long-distance travel. Daniel's second-in-command, Ethan Ross, looked over the navigation charts. "Borders are empty. No one is trying to stop us," Ethan said. "I guess the Council expected a fight." Daniel shook his head. "They never understand humans. We do not always fight when others expect it. Sometimes we just act quietly, and the results are stronger than any fight." Across the galaxy, alien trade stations were beginning to feel the absence. Supplies that humans had delivered on schedule were delayed. Systems that humans had maintained began to falter. Power grids blinked in space stations. Traffic control for shipping routes slowed down, causing confusion and minor accidents. Alien leaders whispered in panic. They had relied on humans for centuries without realizing it. Back on Earth, human leaders like Claire Morgan and Julia White oversaw fleets leaving orbit. Unlike the Council members who panicked at every failure, humans acted with calm efficiency. Ships were checked, repaired, and sent to safe regions of human space. Colonies returned in organized waves, following carefully prepared instructions. No one panicked, no one argued. Humanity simply took care of its own. In the control room of a major orbital station, Claire spoke to engineers monitoring returning colonies. "Remember," she said, "we are not running away. We are building our future. Every station we bring home, every ship we repair, makes us stronger. The galaxy cannot stop us if we move together." Below, workers nodded and focused. They repaired engines, checked supplies, and ensured that every vessel could operate independently. For centuries, humans had followed rules set by the Council. Now, every decision belonged to them. Meanwhile, alien leaders began to notice. In distant council chambers, Chris, the reptilian ambassador, spoke with others. "Humans leave without protest, yet their absence will destroy systems we depend on," he said. "They are quiet, but their actions will be deadly in their effect." Others laughed. "They are only retreating," said a blue-skinned alien named Elin. "They cannot hurt anyone while hiding in their own space." But Chris shook his head. "You underestimate them. Humans do not need permission to act. Watch carefully. As human fleets moved away, internal plans were already in motion." Scientists like Kevin Price and Nathan Bell experimented with new technology. Ships were redesigned for speed, long-distance navigation, and independent operation. Shields were strengthened. Engines were tested for maximum efficiency. Humans were preparing not just to survive, but to thrive without the Council's rules. On Earth, young engineers and pilots were trained for long-distance space travel. Daniel Brooks led a group of cargo pilots, explaining the new protocols. You will not rely on the Council or anyone else. You must learn to plan, repair, and fight if needed. Everything you do counts.
Ethan Ross added, "Humans have always adapted. This is just the next step."
We do not need permission to exist. We only need courage and knowledge. Colonies that had once followed alien trade rules now returned home. Onboard ships, families, and workers watched as familiar stars passed by. They felt no fear, only purpose. Each human understood that their exile was not a punishment, but a chance to grow stronger. The galaxy slowly began to feel the absence. Trade routes grew chaotic. Stations powered by humans lost efficiency. Alien species that had relied on human navigation or repair found themselves stranded or delayed. Panic spread in small pockets as ships waited for instructions that would never come. Back on Earth, leaders carefully monitored the situation. Claire Morgan reviewed reports from returning colonies. "The galaxy is feeling our absence," she said. "Good. They need to understand that humans are not easily controlled. We leave quietly, but we do not vanish. We create our own path." Julia White nodded. "Our focus is on strength, not revenge. Every ship, every colony, every technology we reclaim adds to our independence. This is how we survive." Meanwhile, Daniel and Ethan led convoys through abandoned trade lanes. Occasionally, alien vessels approached, curious or suspicious. But humans did not engage unless necessary. Daniel's orders were clear: avoid conflict, protect the convoy, and return to human space safely. One day, a small alien patrol blocked a convoy. Its captain, a thin gray being with sharp eyes, demanded, "You cannot pass. The Council forbids humans in this sector." "We are not asking permission. We are leaving. If you attack, you will regret it. Otherwise, step aside." The alien hesitated, unsure. Then, seeing the calm confidence in the human crew, it moved the patrol aside. The convoy continued without a fight. In human space, scientists experimented with new, faster-than-light drives. Engineers tested shields that could withstand attacks far stronger than anything aliens had designed. Humans were learning, not for revenge, but for survival. Every new system they created made the galaxy's fear of them grow silently. On Earth, cities and orbital stations were rebuilt. Humans developed independent energy grids, new communications networks, and self-sufficient habitats. Leaders like Claire and Julia organized efforts to ensure every colony could operate without outside help. Children and young adults were trained for survival, for exploration, and for leadership. Humanity was preparing a future that no council could dictate. Even as humans acted quietly, rumors began to spread among alien worlds. "They leave without a fight," some said. "But why are they taking so much care? What are they planning?" "They are strong," said a council member. "We exiled them, yet they do not panic. Perhaps we made a mistake." Daniel and Ethan, traveling through space with a convoy of returning colonies, noticed the subtle changes. Stations abandoned by humans were failing. Trade ships were delayed. Communication grids blinked in chaos. "They really depended on us," Ethan said. Daniel nodded. They never understood what humans could do. That is their mistake. We act quietly, but we prepare. That is how humans survive. Meanwhile, on Earth, Kevin Price worked on experimental starship engines. Nathan Bell tested shield technology in orbital simulations. Each success made humans less dependent on alien systems. Each success made humanity stronger. Claire Morgan reviewed new defense plans. We will not rely on the Council or allies who may fail. Every system we build must be self-reliant. Every ship, every station must survive on its own. Julia White added, "Independence is strength." The Council thought Exile would weaken us. They do not understand humans. We grow stronger when others underestimate us. Weeks turned into months. Human fleets continued to return home. Alien systems slowly fell into confusion. Some species attempted to fill gaps left by humans, but most failed. The galaxy had relied on humans without realizing it. Inside human space, life was orderly. Ships moved efficiently. Colonies rebuilt infrastructure. Scientists and engineers collaborated openly. Leaders organized resources carefully. Humans were no longer bound by alien rules. They were free to plan for a future they would control. One evening, on a large transport ship returning from a distant colony, Daniel Brooks looked out at the stars. Ethan Ross joined him. "They think they have weakened us," Daniel said quietly. Ethan nodded. "But they do not understand. Leaving quietly, taking care of ourselves, it makes us stronger. The galaxy may panic, but humans survive." Daniel smiled. "And soon, they will see."
We are not just leaving. We are building a future they cannot control.
In distant council chambers, alien leaders continued to whisper in worry. Their fleets leave, but they do not attack. "Why do they act with such calm?" asked one ambassador. Chris, the reptilian, replied, "Calm is dangerous. Humans are not like other species. They think carefully, act carefully, and grow stronger quietly. We have underestimated them, and that is our mistake." Back in human space, the work continued. Ships returned safely. Colonies were reconnected. New technologies were tested. Humanity had begun to walk its own path, free from the galaxy's control. And as Earth turned beneath the stars, Claire Morgan spoke to her team. "The Council thought Exile would hurt us. Instead, it freed us. We will prepare, we will grow, and we will protect ourselves. This is only the beginning." Daniel Brooks and Ethan Ross, in a distant convoy, smiled quietly as they continued home. They knew the galaxy would feel their absence. They also knew humans were ready for the next stage. Calm, patient, and focused, humanity was taking its first true steps toward independence. The galaxy had voted to exile Earth, but humans had quietly walked away. Not in fear, not in anger, but with purpose, organization, and strength. And in doing so, they began a story that no council could ever control. Years passed after humanity quietly withdrew from the Galactic Council. The humans did not return. They did not beg for permission. They did not protest. They simply focused on themselves, their colonies, and their future. The galaxy, however, slowly began to feel the absence of Earth and its people. In distant space, alien trade routes were in chaos. Ships that had relied on human maintenance broke down in the middle of highways between stars. Communication relays faltered. Supply lines stopped delivering critical goods. Leaders of other species had assumed that humans could be removed without consequence. They were wrong. On a council world, Christ the reptilian ambassador paced back and forth. They were quiet, they left without conflict. But now, everything is failing. We underestimated them. A blue-skinned alien beside him shook his head. It has been years. They should be weaker by now, yet their absence is destroying our systems. Their calm withdrawal has caused more damage than any attack could. Meanwhile, humanity was thriving in their own space. On Earth, Claire Morgan oversaw a massive project to connect colonies with fast travel and communication networks. Scientists Kevin Price and Nathan Bell tested experimental engines capable of speeds faster than any council ships. Humans were no longer dependent on alien technology. They were inventing their own. In a spaceport on Mars, young pilots trained for long-distance travel. Daniel Brooks watched as them navigated new simulators. "Remember," he said, "the galaxy may panic. We must be ready for anything. Our strength is not in numbers alone. It is in knowledge, skill, and calm action." Ethan Ross smiled. Humans have always adapted. We do not need the council to survive. We only need to act and learn. Alien fleets, once organized and efficient, began to crumble. Pirates and mercenary groups noticed the lack of human patrols and moved into previously secure lanes. Border worlds that had relied on humans for defense were now vulnerable. Many systems suffered losses. Some smaller species were forced to abandon colonies they could no longer protect. In the void between stars, a group of alien merchants whispered nervously. "Humans left quietly, yet they control everything," one said. "If they wanted, they could return and dominate us all." They are not angry. They are calm. That is worse. Calm people with power are dangerous. Back in human space, engineers worked late into the night. Ships with new engines tested in orbit, moving faster and farther than any council ship could. Shields were strengthened. Weapon systems were designed not for conquest, but for defense. Humanity was preparing for a future in which no one could control them. On Earth, Claire Morgan addressed a council of human leaders. "The galaxy fears us, yet we have not done anything. They only see what we are capable of."
That is their mistake. We focus on strength, independence, and knowledge.
They panic, but we act. Julia White nodded. "We are creating a system that works for us. Every ship, every colony, every station is self-reliant. We will not be dependent on alien councils or trade networks again." Daniel Brooks led a convoy of returning colonies. Along the way, they noticed alien patrols attempting to intervene. Humans did not fight unless attacked, but their calm and efficiency made it clear that any confrontation would be dangerous. The aliens soon gave up, realizing the humans were no longer the same species they had once judged. Even in distant sectors, news of human absence reached leaders. Panic spread slowly. Systems that had relied on humans failed. Transportation delays caused economic losses. Communication blackouts created confusion. In some worlds, leaders argued and blamed each other for the failures. Humans, however, acted quietly in their own space, observing and learning. Kevin Price worked on experimental drives, pushing limits of speed and efficiency. Nathan Bell tested shield systems and orbital simulations. Humans now had technology beyond anything the Council could enforce. Ships could travel faster, survive longer, and operate independently. Humanity was preparing for challenges the Council could not even imagine. In human colonies far from Earth, families and workers thrived. Children trained in survival and leadership. Adults focused on engineering, science, and exploration. Every individual understood their role in building a future free from alien control. Humanity was no longer a follower. They were creators of their own destiny. Meanwhile, the galaxy continued to feel the absence. Trade networks faltered. Pirates gained power. Border systems collapsed. Smaller species were forced to defend themselves without the support they had once counted on. Even the Council struggled to maintain order. They had assumed exile would weaken humans, but the opposite had happened. On a distant human station, Daniel Brooks observed a failed alien transport ship floating in space.
They still rely on humans? He said quietly.
And now they suffer because we are gone. Ethan Ross added, they underestimated us. That is their mistake. Calm humans who act with purpose are stronger than chaos itself. Back on Earth, Claire Morgan reviewed reports from all colonies. We are ready, she said. The galaxy is in disorder, but we are prepared. Every colony, every ship, every station is capable of surviving independently. This is what freedom looks like. Julia White added, they think they have exiled us, but exile has only made us stronger. We are learning, building, and preparing. And they do not even realize it yet. Over time, alien species attempted to negotiate with humans. Envoys came, asking for help, trade, and guidance, but humans were careful. Adam Cole, older and wiser, met with the alien envoys. He spoke quietly, calmly, but with authority. We act for ourselves first. We will help only when it aligns with our plans. Humanity is not yours to command. The envoys left, uncertain and uneasy. They had assumed exile would make humans weak. Instead, humans had grown strong, self-reliant, and calm. Quietly, humanity's power expanded without violence, without protest, and without the need for recognition. In the deep space beyond human-controlled systems, a small alien fleet attempted to challenge a human convoy. They were unprepared. Humans used strategy, speed, and coordination to evade them. No shots were fired, but the aliens returned in panic. Humanity's calm, precise action had defeated them without conflict. On Earth, Kevin Price tested a new faster-than-light engine. Nathan Bell tested a shield that could survive a supernova shockwave. Every experiment was a step toward independence, a step toward a future where humans no longer relied on the Council or any other species. In human colonies, life was orderly and productive. Education focused on survival, innovation, and leadership. Humans trained to solve problems independently. No one waited for permission. No one argued over hierarchy. Every person understood the importance of cooperation and focus. Daniel Brooks reflected on their journey. The galaxy is in chaos, he said. They thought they removed us, but we have been preparing. Quietly, carefully, and when the time comes, humans will act. Calm, strong, and unstoppable. They still fear us without knowing why. That is the power of preparation, patience, and knowledge. Humans survive, humans adapt. Humans grow stronger when underestimated. Alien leaders continued to watch with fear and uncertainty. Systems failed, trade faltered, communication networks broke. The Council realized too late that humanity's exile had been a mistake. Humans had not weakened. They had only grown stronger, independent, and ready for a future no one could control. On Earth, Claire Morgan spoke to the Council of Human Leaders. We have learned, we have grown, and we are ready. The galaxy may panic, but humans remain calm. Independence is our strength. Knowledge is our weapon, and preparation is our shield. Julia White added, "We do not seek war. We do not seek revenge. We seek only to survive, to protect ourselves, and to grow. The galaxy may be in chaos, but humanity is united, calm, patient, and strong." Daniel Brooks and Ethan Ross, traveling through human space, observed alien fleets trying to reorganize. "They cannot challenge us," Daniel said. "We are quiet, precise, and prepared. Their panic cannot harm us." Ethan smiled. "Exile has freed us. We no longer need permission. We no longer follow rules we did not make. This is humanity's true strength." As stars passed by their ships, humans continued to move forward. Colonies thrived. Technology advanced. Leadership grew. Humanity's independence was complete, and their calm, patient action had made them stronger than ever before. The galaxy had voted to exile Earth. Humans had walked away quietly, but in doing so, they had grown stronger, wiser, and ready for a future no one could control. And in the deep reaches of space, alien leaders whispered in fear. We underestimated them. We exiled Earth. But they have only grown stronger. Calm humans are more dangerous than we imagined. On Earth, Adam Cole looked at the stars, older now but still strong and calm. "They think they have pushed us out," he said quietly, "but they do not understand. Exile has only given us freedom. And with freedom comes power." And so, humanity continued to grow. Calm, careful, independent, and unstoppable. The galaxy would feel the absence of Earth for years to come, but humans were ready, not for revenge, not for war, but for the future they would build with their own hands. Years had passed since the Galactic Council voted to exile Earth. Humans had quietly withdrawn, taken care of their own colonies, and grown stronger than anyone had imagined. Now, the galaxy was in chaos. Systems that relied on human trade or patrols struggled to survive. Pirates roamed previously safe trade lanes. Borders were weak, and small species begged for help. On Earth, Adam Cole walked along the observation deck of a massive orbital station. Beside him stood Laura King, still calm, still composed. The stars stretched endlessly before them. Humans had built new, faster-than-light engines, shields, and ships that could operate independently. Every colony, every station, and every fleet was prepared for any danger. "They are coming," Laura said quietly, reading a message from a small alien delegation approaching human space. The council sent envoys. "They want help." Adam did not show excitement or anger. He nodded slowly. "We expected this."
They know they cannot manage without us. Now they will see what humans do when they ask for aid.
The alien delegation arrived in orbit above Earth. Representatives from multiple species, including Chris and Ilan, approached carefully. Their ships were modest, designed to avoid threatening humans. Still, there was tension. They remembered how humans had walked away quietly and left systems in disorder. On the observation deck, Adam addressed the alien envoys. "We received your request. The galaxy is in danger. You need help. You must understand. Humans act for themselves first."
We do not answer to a council that voted our exile.
Chryse hissed slightly. "We did not know the consequences. We underestimated you. Please, humanity, aid us. The galaxy cannot survive without your guidance." Adam studied him calmly. You underestimated humans once before. You exiled us, thinking it would weaken us. You were wrong. Now you ask for help. That is a choice you made, not a command we accept. Laura King stepped forward. We will not act blindly. We will protect ourselves and our colonies first. If helping you aligns with our plans, we may act. But understand this. Humans are no longer under anyone's control. We act with purpose and with rules of our own making. They had expected either a weak plea for permission or angry retaliation. Instead, humans were calm, measured, and in control. Meanwhile, across human space, fleets prepared quietly. Daniel Brooks and Ethan Ross led convoys ready for rapid deployment. Ships moved in formation, training in maneuvers faster and more precise than any alien fleet could match. Humans were ready, not for war, but for defense. On Earth, scientists tested new experimental drives that could take fleets anywhere in the galaxy within days. Shields were stronger than ever. Weapons systems were precise and efficient. Humans had prepared for any challenge, not because they sought conflict, but because survival required it. Adam spoke to the alien envoys again. We will listen to your request. We may act, but only in ways that do not compromise humanity's safety and freedom. You exiled us. That choice created this situation.
We are ready. You should have been ready too.
Chris and Ellen exchanged nervous glances. They realized that the humans were no longer the same species they had judged. They were stronger, wiser, and calm in a way that made them unpredictable. Across the galaxy, systems under attack by pirates or other threats continued to fail. Human fleets, now fully mobilized, began responding not to conquer, but to protect. Small colonies that had once been lost were secured. Trade routes reopened, guided by humans' new technology. Alien fleets observed in awe. Humanity acted quickly, efficiently, and without fear. On a transport station near Jupiter, Daniel Brooks communicated with Adam Cole. Sir, the border systems are stabilized. Pirates have been neutralized. Trade lanes are operational again. Humanity has moved faster than anyone expected. Adam nodded. Good. That is what preparedness looks like. Humans do not act blindly. We act with purpose, calm and precision. That is why we survive. Ethan Ross added, the galaxy thought exile would weaken us. Instead, it freed us. Now we act for ourselves first, not for any council. Back on Earth, Claire Morgan and Julia White monitored fleets and colonies. We have restored order where we chose to, Claire said. But remember, humans do not act for approval. We act for survival and independence. That is our rule.
Julia nodded. The council asked for help.
They will get it, but only under our conditions. No one controls humans anymore. In the council chambers, alien leaders whispered in fear. They have stabilized the systems faster than we expected, said one. They are helping, but they are not under our control. We have created a power we cannot command. We underestimated them. Humans are calm, precise, and strong. They act only when it serves their purpose. We are lucky they choose to help at all. Adam addressed the alien envoys one final time. We have helped where we chose. You requested aid. You must understand that humans act according to our rules. We protect ourselves first. We build our future first. The galaxy must adapt to humanity, not the other way around.
The alien envoys left, uncertain and uneasy.
They had come expecting guidance or permission. Instead, they had found calm strength. careful planning, and independence. Humans had walked away quietly years ago. Now, they returned not as subjects of a council, but as equals, or perhaps as something beyond their understanding. Daniel Brooks and Ethan Ross observed fleets returning to their positions. They expected us to beg or fight, Daniel said. Instead, we act quietly, efficiently, and with purpose. That is the difference. Humanity survives. We grow stronger when underestimated. That is what they never understood. On Earth, Adam Cole looked at the stars one last time that night. They exiled us, he said quietly to Laura King. They thought it would weaken us. Instead, it gave us freedom. Freedom to act, freedom to prepare, freedom to survive. And now, the galaxy sees what we are capable of. Calm humans, acting with purpose. That is what scares them most. They cannot predict us because we do not act for approval. We act for survival and for our future. Across human space, colonies were connected. Fleets were prepared and technology advanced faster than ever before. Humanity had walked quietly through exile, prepared carefully, and now acted decisively, but always for themselves first. The galaxy had learned a difficult lesson. The Council, which had once judged Earth, now observed in awe and fear. They realized that exiling humans had not removed a threat. It had created a power that was independent, precise, and unstoppable if provoked. Humans were calm, prepared, and unyielding. On Earth, Adam Cole spoke to all human leaders via a galaxy-wide communication link. We have acted where necessary.
We have helped stabilize systems, but we do so on our terms. Humans will no longer sit under councils that vote our existence away.
We survive, we protect, and we build our future. The galaxy must respect that, or face the consequences of misunderstanding us again. In distant corners of space, alien leaders whispered their fear. They left quietly, prepared quietly, and now they act. Calm humans are more powerful than armies, fleets, or councils. We made a mistake when we exiled them. Back on Earth, humanity continued to thrive. Cities expanded. Colonies grew stronger. Fleets were prepared. Science and technology advanced. Humans acted with purpose, calm, and patience. They did not seek revenge, but they were ready if the galaxy ever tried to control them again. Daniel Brooks and Ethan Ross trained young pilots for long-distance missions. Remember, Daniel said, we act not for approval, not for fear, not for revenge. We act for survival, for independence, and for humanity. That is our strength. Ethan nodded. The galaxy will always underestimate us. That is why we survive. That is why we grow stronger. Adam Cole and Laura King watched the stars, knowing humanity had learned a lesson no council could teach. Calm, careful, and prepared action was more powerful than anger, fear, or submission. Exile had not destroyed humanity. It had freed them. The galaxy had voted to exile Earth. Humanity had walked away quietly. Years later, when the galaxy needed help, humans returned, not as subjects, not as followers, but as equals. Calm, prepared, independent, and unstoppable. And in that calm, careful strength, the galaxy understood something it had never understood before. Humans did not need permission to act. Humans did not need approval to survive. Humans did not need anyone to guide them. They only needed themselves. And that was more than enough.